as the fabric of space-time parts, exposing pathways to new realities. Join me on a dimensional journey through the multiverse on a quest to discover the Donnie particle. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the cosmic intersection of our objective realities and the vehicle for my own intended quantum teleportations. This is the Donnie particle. I'm Donnie, and on this show I discuss the theory and practice commonly described as dimensional shifting, or using willpower and directed intention in order to change one's life path and, in effect, reality itself. This theory is nothing new, but it is the culmination of years of research into the underlying truth connecting science, spirituality, and our place within this bizarre structure we call the universe. Within this theory lies the methods and technologies to cause massive shifts in consciousness and the quality of life. While it may sound woo-woo or overly poetic, the material I will cover contains tried and true methods along with peer-reviewed observations. While you listen to this podcast, I'd like you to remember that I'm not doing this to try to convince anyone to believe a single word of what I'm presenting. In fact, the concepts I present are simply a structure, created as a tool used to bridge the gap between observation and mankind's perceived need for an explanation of what it all means. In other words, it blurs the lines between reality and metaphor. We all have a shared reality. This is the best version of mutual agreement on the experiences we all share. We can agree that the sky is blue, that the moon is round, that water either is wet or gets you wet, and that grass is green. We also have a hidden reality, or an inner reality. This is where we as the individual exists, within a cognitive barrier created by our bodies. In order to communicate what goes on in your inner reality, it's required to manipulate in some way this shared reality. We have to cause agreed-upon patterns within this shared space so that communication between one mind and another can be possible. Some people believe that this inner reality is imaginary or less than the outer reality. This doesn't make sense once you consider the idea that within this inner reality, in another dimension of our shared reality, this is where consciousness and the sense of self actually exists. Your sense of self is the result of a cognitive stack of sensory impressions, reactions, and the outcomes of any given moment in time. Your beliefs on reality, then, are intrinsically entwined with your sense of self. It's through these observations that the concepts of change your mind, change your reality came to being. Our thoughts have been shown to change the physical structures within the brain. Our thought patterns can literally change the physical patterns within our brains. These are the structures which holds our own inner reality and sense of self. Many occult concepts are based around creating or altering internal patterns of the mind in order to alter personal beliefs about reality, so that the perception of self and reality are in harmony with each other. The patterns and symbols of the occult have been used to communicate intended thoughts to our unconscious mind, therefore injecting our will into the subtle interactions within our internal universe. Colors, textures, smells and sounds, imagery, mantras, postures, ritual baths, and various explorations of the extremes of human experience have all been used in occult practices to influence precise sensory impressions within the mind. Through use of these practices, practitioners have been able to cause change which has positively influenced both their outlook and their path in life. It's an ever-evolving cycle which persists as your needs evolve to react to your most current reality. This concept inspired the idea of the dragon eating its own tail. The first step in dimensional travel is to get the idea to go there in the first place. The next step is to learn about your coordinates. Where do you want to travel? Where are you traveling from? The closer you can come to mapping out these two pieces of data, the easier it can be to approximate a clear course of travel. This concept is the prime use of the phrase "know thyself," because without self-knowledge, transformation is impossible. How do you feel about the world around you? Which parts do you identify with? Which parts truly fulfill you at your core? Which parts are you grateful for? Who do you see yourself as? Which parts cause you the most pain? Be as honest as you can as you answer these questions. The more honest you are, the more accurately you'll reach your standards. Close your eyes and ask yourself, if my life was one in which I was happy and truly fulfilled, what would that look like? This means, how would you feel when you woke up? What's around you? Who is around you? Where do you go? How do you contribute? What does that look like? How would you take care of yourself? What makes you smile in this hypothetical world? What makes you laugh? What do you do to feel alive? What are your standards? Why is this? What underlying need is being fulfilled? As you think of all these questions, think of how these two versions of you and of your reality truly differ. As you describe these two versions of yourself, you should begin to notice how the habits and attitudes of each version of yourself is different from the other. Take note of these differences carefully. It's in this action that the pathway to your new reality begins to take form. The accumulation of new habits and thoughts about your reality will, over time, shift you into a new version of reality, more in line with your true self. To cause any kind of conscious change, there must be some sort of conscious consideration. If there's no conscious consideration, you are in essence living a reactionary life, like you're floating down a rapid river on a boat with no oar. You may be lucky for a while, but over a long enough time period, you'll end up capsized or crashed on the bank. Conscious thought can give you such a greater chance at reaching your destination. As obstacles come, you can anticipate them and change your course. Life is constantly in a state of flux. You either grow or decay. Be conscious of your place in life, and take every opportunity to consciously transform your life from the one in which you're out of control to one in which you have the knowledge and self-confidence to handle the obstacles as they come. Because, especially on the path to a chosen reality, obstacles are absolutely going to come. As far as I've been able to tell, the greatest determining factor in shifting reality is a combination of unwavering willpower and a dedication to consistency of action. Every day, make an effort to take steps in the right direction. Each decision you make to alter yourself and your surroundings is one step closer you are to retrieving your goal, to transforming your reality, and to traveling from that place of discontent to the dimension with a version of yourself who is more satisfied than you can ever imagine.